Hello, beautiful people. Good morning. Dzień dobry. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing great. So, in today's video, guys, we're not going to be doing countryside diaries, okay? But instead, we are doing a sit-down vlog. And you know what? I was going to film this one outside so that I will have a nice background with the mountains, the sky, a bit of the house, and just me surrounded with greeneries. There's also a nice breeze. But I tried filming one the other day and it did not turn out well, and this is because of the loud noise. It's close to the road, so there were so many motorbikes passing by. We have cars as well. There were dogs barking, people passing by, and it kind of intimidates me, so that did not turn out good. We're doing it here in my newly renovated beautiful kitchen. OMG. It's so nice, and I'm so proud that Mohi Kohani renovated it by himself. So this kitchen needs to be flexed, and we never know, this could be the beginning of us doing an interview here maybe, or a podcast. That's actually one of my dreams now, but yeah, we'll see. We're still doing countryside diaries and a bit of traveling. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how much it really costs to live in the province. Since now it's the end of the month, and I figured I want to share with you guys how much is the living expenses that I have while living here in the province of Cebu. But before we go any further, for some of you that are new here on the channel, let me introduce myself. I'm Meljin Salon, a travel and lifestyle content creator and a proud Cebuana. I upload countryside diaries living here in the province of the Philippines and also travel vlogs. I have been to 22 countries here in Asia, in Oceania, and also in Europe, which I'm so happy about. So if you guys would like to join the community that we have here, I hope you guys can subscribe to the channel. All you have to do is to tap that subscribe button down below, and if you will end up liking this video or you might find it helpful, I hope you can give it a thumbs up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. How much does it cost to live in the province of the Philippines? So living in the province has its perks, like the fresh air, peaceful surroundings, and a slower pace of life. Some, if not most of you guys that are watching the channel, are looking into settling down in one of the provinces here in the Philippines or dreaming of retiring. I've actually checked my analytics the other day, and I have found out that most of you that are watching the channel are from ages 35 to 60 or even 70, and that really shocked me, though I'm really happy about that. And I think this is because I started building my house, and I know that a lot of you guys, well, I think everybody wants to build a house. These are the people that really wants to settle down with their loved ones. And I have figured out as well that a lot of you guys are Filipinos that are working abroad or being with your husbands, and you guys are looking into retiring here in the Philippines. So thank you for watching the channel. Let's go ahead and dive into my living expenses as someone who is born and raised here in Cebu, which is one of the provinces here in the Philippines. Okay, so first let's talk about housing. Now, if you have been an OG on the vlog, then I think you already know that I was able to build my own house here in the province. So that is a really big cut in my living expenses since I don't need to pay for rent. Now, if you're looking into renting a house in the province, to be honest, here in our countryside, guys, I think nobody is really renting, because mostly the people that wants to move here, they first buy a lot and then they will build their own house. You cannot really find like a house for rent here, but there are still some that are renting their house. So let's say if you are looking into renting a one-bedroom house, you could be paying around 20,000 pesos per month. For a studio apartment, it could be around 15,000 pesos. That's actually nothing if you compare the rent here in Cebu as to how much it is in VGC, for example, which is the most prominent luxury area here in the Philippines, I think you will be paying maybe around 50,000 pesos and more. So that's a really big difference. And again, it really varies what kind of lifestyle you want to live. If you want to live a luxury life, then of course you have to go to that big city, which is like there in Manila. So going back to me, since I have my own house, I don't pay for rent at all, which I am super happy about. I know paying rent or mortgages can be really daunting, and it can be heavy in the pocket. So I am paying zero for housing while living here in the province. And I think this is something that I would also recommend, especially for those couples that are looking into, moving into the province. I think the best idea is to really get a lot and build your house. If you have a bit of a savings, I think that's the best way to go, so that at least you will have your own house and it will be yours forever. You can give it to your kids when they grow up, and so on and so forth. So for housing, I am able to save a bit. So that's going to be zero for me. Next, let's talk about utilities, which is the most important part, since we cannot pretty much function, or we cannot live without the utilities. So we have water, electricity, and internet. Let's start with water. Now, for water here in the province, before we actually do have a spring, so it was for free, and all you have to do is just go to the spring, you fetch water from there, you bring it to your house, and you pretty much don't pay for water at all. That still exists here in our area, though there's also one person here in our province that gives water to everybody. All you have to do is just to queue and fetch water from there. Most of the people that are living here in our countryside, guys, they don't pay for water. They just collect rainwater, and they do have their own well, and then they go to spring to fetch water. But as for me and my family, I decided to buy a really long hose so that I can connect a permanent water from Leia's family. That's my friend. There is a water source here in the province where you could connect, and you will have running water all day, every day. There's gonna be 3 of us that are sharing that water. So my house, mom's house, and my sister's house. So mom is the one paying that. She actually pays 800 pesos per month. So we're gonna divide that by 3. So that's gonna be around 260 pesos. Though it's not gonna be the same every month. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. It really depends on how we consume water. If we do have a lot of laundry to do, or if we water the plants, now I do have plants to water, so it could be more. And we've actually put the water pressure thing so that I could wash the car here as well, so that can be added. And then we have the washing machine, which consumes a lot of water than washing using your hands. So far, mom has been consistently paying around 800 to 900 pesos. So for me, since we're gonna divide that by 3, my water every month is around 260 pesos. So now let's proceed with the next utility, which is the electricity. Electricity is very important, of course, especially for someone like me that works online and needs my laptop to be powered up so that I can pretty much work. The electricity here in the countryside, by the way, I think has the same kilowatt per hour as how much it is in the city. I'm gonna share with you what are the appliances I have here at home, so that you guys can have an idea of how much it might cost if you have something more. First, I have a TV, I have karaoke machine. I have air condition in my bedroom. That's actually 1.5 horsepower, but that is inverter. I don't know if that helps or not, but I think that is electricity saver. What else? I do have my laptop in here. I have a water dispenser. I do have heater in the shower, and I have the water pump. I think water pump is one of those things that consumes a lot of electricity. I'm not sure about it. I have lights. I do have a lot of lights here in the house. I have cameras. Of course, I have here my refrigerator. I have my air fryer, which I use like almost every single day. I have my blender. So I would say roughly for my electricity every month here, living in the countryside, countryside is around 1,500 pesos. Yeah, there is a really big difference when it comes to the electricity. It really depends on what you use daily. For the air condition, I don't use it 24/7 since I only use it at night when I'm sleeping or maybe in the afternoon when I'm taking a nap, but it doesn't happen that often. Sometimes even at night, I would not use the aircon since the weather here in the province, it can get cold at night, so you don't really need air conditioning, but sometimes you also need to most of the nights since the location of my house is actually not up so high, so it can get hot in the evening, so I need air condition most of the time. But yeah, it really depends on how much I use the TV. If I use the air fryer a lot, well, refrigerator is gonna be 24/7. For the electricity, it really depends on your usage. If you're gonna be in the house most of the time or if you're gonna be working, so of course you will use less electricity. 1,500 pesos, including all of the appliances that I do have, that's the amount that I do pay every month. So now let's proceed to my internet or my Wi-Fi. By the way, I just got my Wi-Fi recently and now I am paying monthly for that. Now I use my Wi-Fi all the time, every single day since I work online, so I need to upload videos, I need to edit my videos as well, and pretty much I need Wi-Fi so that I can have my work done. So for my Wi-Fi, guys, I am paying 1,500 pesos for that. I think that is 100 Mbps, and to be honest, sometimes it's not gonna be as stable since we are living here in the province. The Wi-Fi connection is very unreliable, especially if there is a bad weather. Sometimes if it's raining or if there is a strong wind, the Wi-Fi can act up and we can have a very poor signal. But so far, since I got this Wi-Fi, it's been very good, though there are just some days where it's very slow, but there was never a time where it did not really work. So I'm very happy that I was able to get the Wi-Fi. Here in the Philippines, I know that it is still developing and most provinces still doesn't have access to fiber internet or 5G, so it can be frustrating, especially if your work needs internet. So I think that's one of the things that you have to consider as well. You need to make sure that you will have a good stable internet in the area where you're moving in the province, because yes, the Philippines is still developing slowly, but surely we are getting there. So now let's proceed to food and groceries. This topic actually really depends on the person because it depends on what kind of food do you eat. Can you live off of the food, the vegetables that is being produced here in the countryside, or do you need to have all of that luxury food that you can find in the restaurants in the city? As for me, who is pretty much used to eating vegetables most of the time, I can absolutely survive just living off of the land. So for me, actually, food I think is one of the highest expenses I do have living here in the province. I would get groceries in the city, and this is because there are some ingredients that I want to have that I cannot find in the local supermarket. Like for example, cheese or the sauce that I want, like milk, this Australian milk that I really like. What else? I'm looking at my refrigerator thinking what are the food that I'm getting. So yeah, those kind of ingredients, I would mostly buy it in the supermarket. I know there could be a difference between the price if you buy it in the grocery or in the local supermarket, but there is also that convenience that you can get if you are going to buy in the grocery. So in the grocery, everything is pretty much there, but if you go to like Carbon Market where everything is actually very affordable and you can also haggle, the thing is it's very far, it can get really hot, it can get really chaotic. You also have to be mindful with your stuff. Never know what could happen. Maybe you're too busy looking at the fruits, vegetables you wanted to buy and then you end up not having your wallet there anymore. Those kind of things. I'm not saying that it happens all the time. You'll just have to be very vigilant because yeah, these things can happen. I think pretty much anywhere in the world, you know. For me, I prefer buying in the supermarket and I also buy in the local market. So for my veggies, my fruits, I buy it in the local market. When I pass by in the road, there is this one store where I buy most of the time. I would park there quickly and that's where I buy, like for example, apples, lemons, bananas and just any kind of fruits and some vegetables as well. For the other ingredients that I could not find in a local supermarket, I would get it in the grocery. Also, since I'm a beautiful and a very good neighbor, most of the neighbors I have here in the countryside, they would sometimes give me their produce. Like for example, they would give me eggplant, malabar spinach, moringa, sweet corn, and other vegetables that I do eat, which I am very grateful about because they have that sense of sharing. So for my food, guys, in 1 month, it would be 15,000 pesos. I am living alone here in my house, and sometimes when I cook, I would share it to my mom, I would share it to my sister, but most of the time I am alone and I love eating. So yeah, 15,000 pesos is, I think, not too bad. So now let's talk about transportation. So as for me, I have my own car, Ruby, and I'm so happy and grateful about that since I am able to drive or travel wherever I want. For most of the people here in the countryside, they do have their own transport, which is motorbike. If you don't have motorbike or if you don't have a car, we also have public transportation here. We have the jeepney or the motorbike as well that can take you to the city. So if you will opt to riding the jeepney here in our countryside, you will be paying around 60 pesos from the countryside going to the city and then another 60 going back. But yeah, most of the people here have their own motorbikes, so it's very accessible to go anywhere, pick up their kids in school, go to the local market. So going back for me, since I have a car, I go to the city quite often to take care of things like going to the grocery, paying for this, going to the bank, doing checkups and sending Papa to his session or picking up my sister, just anything. So I go to the city quite often in a month, and for my gas, that's going to be around 5,000 pesos. And it can actually vary from month to month. It depends if I'm going to the city often or not, or if we're gonna go on a weekend getaway. So it could cost a lot more than that. So far, when I'm just like here in Cebu, I do pay around 5,000 pesos for my gas. And speaking of transportation with regards to my car, I also pay car insurance and maintenance. So for maintenance, it doesn't really happen like every month, you know. I think it happens every 5,000 kilometers. Let's just not include that. But for my car insurance, I have the Toyota Vios and I pay around 12,000 pesos. That's actually per year. But we don't need to include that in my monthly living expenses since that's actually yearly. But at least you guys will have an idea. That is something you have to take it into consideration since you need to make sure that your car is insured. So now let's proceed with healthcare and medical. Guys, it is a must for us to have medical or health insurance because you never know what could happen and you will be paying a really big bill in the hospital, and that is not something you want to experience because it is so stressful. I've had that experience when Papa was being diagnosed, but I am so grateful that you guys are there to help me, so thank you so much for that. But I have learned my lesson, and it was a wake-up call for me to really get a health insurance because I'm not getting any younger. We can get sick really easily since our immune system is not as strong. For my health insurance, guys, I am paying 15,000 pesos. That's actually per year. You can also pay it monthly, but as for me, I opted to pay it once so that I don't need to think about it. I am insured. Guys, it started raining. Shucks. Okay, yeah, so to continue, if you want to live in a province, I think it is a must, okay, to get health insurance. Though if you're Filipino, we do have PhilHealth, but there's so many complaints about PhilHealth. It's not covering all expenses in your hospital bill. It's really important for us to have a private health insurance so you will be covered, nothing happens, you don't need to worry about paying your bill. Guys, we have to wrap this one up because it just started raining. I don't know if you guys can hear me still, but it is very loud. I have my microphone on, but I think we're still good to go. I have to get my microphone out because the rain is getting heavier. So anyway, that is pretty much it, guys, about my living expenses here in the province of the Philippines. Again, it's not going to be the same from person to person. I think it really depends what kind of lifestyle you want to live. I cannot give you guys an exact amount about how much you really need per month because it really depends on you. If you want to eat nice meal or if you're okay with eating vegetables, if you want to use the air condition 24/7 or if you want your entire house to be air conditioned, it really varies as to how much electricity you use, how much gas you use for your car, if you're going to be paying for rent, your water, how much you use your water. So yeah, there are really a lot of things you have to consider if you are thinking of leaving or moving in the province of the Philippines. Guys, the rain is getting heavier and heavier, so we're gonna wrap this up. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. If you are someone that is currently living in one of the provinces here in the Philippines, I would love to know how much you pay for your utilities, for your rent, so that we can also help each other. I know there are some people out there that are looking into living in an island here in the Philippines or in the provinces or a bit of the city as well. So if you guys can be open-minded and share all your expenses in the comment section down below, I would really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and I will see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to smile and be happy. Bye!